Good evening. You got Scar and Dew. Now, this is going to be our locked in time. We're going to go every other Sunday at 8 p.m. It's just going to be a better time for Dew. He's still a working guy. I'm an old retired dude. So 8 p.m.
Trying to get there.
Every other Sunday. We just got done watching the Lions. We're kind of sad. It is what it is. You got to get off the field. Stafford can still play, but we had three Wolverines out there. Josiah Stewart making some plays. You had Corum. We were just talking about the scouting report. If you're scouting the Rams, Corum likes to bounce the ball outside. He still does it. I don't know how many times he did it tonight. And then you had the Wallace kid that we got from UMass who was playing for the Rams. So it was good to see those three guys.
It was good to see those guys, and it was good to see Hutch at the beginning of the game get that interception and return it for 57 yards. And there's still Graham Glasgow in there on the interior offensive line for the Lions. So it's good to see those guys.
All right, Dew and I are going to come. We're not coming shy. We're coming right at things, and we're not going to afraid to attack some topics that might be a little sensitive. And the first one that we want to talk about is Bryce Underwood, the money, the NIL, and the status of college football. And I'm going to present my argument for all the listeners to listen to. Do I think might have a different side on some of these things I'm going to talk about, but I look at the people that are winning, and I'm putting myself in now as a guy. If I got the job at Michigan, I'm looking at what Indiana has done at the quarterback position the last 2 years. He went out and got a proven kid from Ohio. He went out and got a real good player from Cal to lead his football team. He didn't bring in young guys to develop them. He got pre-established players. And Dew and I are both from the mindset that we want to be fair to players, because we were players. And I want to present this in a way where Sam Levit is in the portal. Okay, he wants a lot of money. He's the top portal quarterback. He is a really, really good football player, in my opinion. I've watched him play. He is an accurate kid. He was a highly recruited kid. Went to state, transferred to Arizona State, got coached up real well. Accurate, athletic. He's in the portal. He wants to get paid. He's the kind of kid that if I had to go to Columbus next year, I think he can play and compete with Julian Sand. If we got to go to Eugene, Oregon next year, I think he's the kind of kid that can compete with Dante Moore. So I just want you people to listen to this argument, because we're paying a guy $3 million a year now too. Okay? And coaches have to make difficult decisions about what's best for their football team and for their livelihood. Jonathan Smith at Michigan State did not get it right at the quarterback position. He brought a kid over, and it was huge, and the reasons he failed. So I want you guys to go look at some film of Sam Levit. I looked at it. I'm making the argument that if I got the job at Michigan, we're going to bring in a great coach. I'm just making the argument that it's something you need to research. Do you think you have a better chance of going into Columbus or Eugene with Bryce Underwood or Sam Levit? And I would really, really research it. That's all I'm saying to you. I'm not saying I'm not saying that I wouldn't want to continue to to look at what Bryce brings to the table. But if I got the job, I would seriously research it. And I want you guys to, and I want you to get your input and thoughts after you research this player, because I think he's really, really good. I'm just going to leave it at that, Dew, and let you give your thoughts on what I presented.
I think it's thought-provoking, because you're right. You got to come in there and you got to win, hit the ground running. And the transfer portal right now gives you that option, and we've seen plenty of teams who have taken advantage of it, and immediately they start winning, right? So you're a coach that comes in here, and let's say it is Dillingham. Man, that's a tough one, because you the most heralded, you know, uh, highly paid, uh, whatever, got all the accolades, been getting all the accolades since he was in fifth, sixth, seventh grade. Bryce has been, the chosen one. And then he comes in and he doesn't play as well as everybody had hoped. And in the big games, he struggled. And you come in here as, say, Dillingham, and you think there is no, you know, there's no time to wait. We got to get this thing done now. 9-3 doesn't get it done. 8-4 doesn't get it done. We have to compete. We have to be in the playoffs. And you might seriously think, hey, man, I'm going to try and get Levit here with everything I got. If I got to spend more on him than I do Bryce, maybe I do. I don't know if that's the case. I don't know if the coach will do that. Levit's an older quarterback, and Bryce is a freshman. Will Bryce get better? I think Bryce will get better when he has a coach whose mind isn't a lot of other places besides the football field. And I know that seems like in hindsight, I have 2020, but you cannot deny that a coach with all of that stuff going on is not focusing on 100% of his focus is on the team. So, yeah, I'd like to see what a coach who's all about football, all about Michigan, all about this play, this game, everything. I want to see how Bryce does with that guy.
You make an absolutely great point. Because the concept of loyalty, which you and I both, they both sat in my living room and said, the kid's got, 5 years to graduate, Mr. Scarcelli, and I'm going to honor it. And I understand that. But, you look at Raiola at Nebraska. You played the kid early, and now he's second year. You've committed to him, and he's talking about going in the portal. You look at even you look at Levit. He had a great year at Arizona State. Now he's going to try to maximize it. And how do you know that Bryce won't do the same thing to us if he has a great year? So the concept of loyalty with so many of these players now, you'd like to think it's old school the way it was when, like you'd like to think it is the way it had always been, but it's not quite like that. So I just think those are tough decisions a coach has to make. But you have to be responsible for the football team. And if you have the money and you have the resources and you got a guy, again, you just have to ask yourself, who would you rather go to Columbus with? When you look at this film, and I've seen this kid play about 4 or 5 times, there's a reason he's the number 1 quarterback in the portal. Okay. He can play. He's accurate and he's athletic. And I'm just asking our listeners to do some homework and check in with, just give us your thoughts on that. That's my last comment on that, and then I'm going to move on to something else. You got something, anything else on the Bryce Levit?
No, I thought other than, a coach, when he takes the job at a new school, he doesn't just go with the coaches that are already on staff. He brings his own guys. Well,
That's right.
It shouldn't be any different with the quarterback. If you feel like there's somebody better out there that can help you win now. Listen, what did Harbaugh do his first year here? He went to Iowa and got Jake Rudock. So you got to do what you got to do.
That's right. You got to be a cutthroat dude, man, because you're going against Signetti. Yeah. Signetti don't care. He went out. He put dudes on the bench. Harbaugh put how many centers on the bench? You know what I mean? 2 years in a row. And So
Crippen got.
Yeah, how many times you got to do what's right for you, and if those are tough. Look at the guy at Oklahoma saved his job. The guy at Oklahoma saved his job by going and bringing in Mateer and the offensive coordinator from Washington State. He saved his job, period. He'd be fired if he didn't make that tough decision. He would be gone. Anyway, Those are things, if I got the job, that I would be researching and looking at film and giving it my guys and saying, this ain't no automatic deal that I'm going over here with this guy. So that's that. Let's move on to the next thought that we want to bounce around. So, a lot of guys think about, our defense has been so good. Our scheme has been good. It really was one of the things that turned our program around, I think, to help really keep Jim his job and then win those championships. We finally got the defense right. I just wonder if it's something that we'll talk about who's making the decision, but, is that something that you think do you even want to talk about it when you're in that interview with a guy that you want to be possibly keeping the defensive scheme in any way, shape, or form. I know as a guy who interviewed many times with different high school jobs, it would be very hard for me as a coach, for some athletic director to tell me that, I have to try to use a system that had been implemented. But
Well,
I just wonder if it's, I just wanted to get your thoughts on it and get some people's thoughts on trying to get a guy to utilize the same defensive scheme.
Well, we saw what happened when Rich Rod came in here, and we were an outside zone team, we were a power team. He comes in and he's going to run the spread, and it's oil and water, man. It just did not mix very well, and it takes a while for you to change over. Look what's going on at Wisconsin. I don't know why Fickle decided to change the offense from Wisconsin's identity. I would think that they would have somebody who comes in with a similar type of defensive scheme. First of all, I don't know. Does anybody even play the 3-4? Like the 3-man front? No, where the guys are two gapping.
Yeah.
No, not in college, not as much, unless you got some huge beasts there. But yeah, I don't see it's going to be a problem. I don't think you're going to let the guy choose what he wants to do, and he's going to bring who he wants to bring. And maybe he chooses somebody that says, "Hey, this team right now, they're kind of a 4-man, 5-man front. They like to use 3 linebackers or 4 linebackers. They play an even front a lot. Maybe he finds it. I don't know. I'm sure his guy can adapt, or he can find somebody that is familiar with that. I don't know if defense is going to be a big factor in what this guy decides, or if he decides to take a job because of what's going on our defense.
But
So
you've got players that have been playing this system. There's an upside to staying with what people have done, because the kids that we've recruited and have been young guys in the system for a couple of years, and I know it as a, hey, if I'm an edge guy, I know the system, I know the technique, I know the drops, I know if I'm a inside backer in this. Anyway, there's an upside to it. But at the same time, you got to let a guy, you bring it, he coaches what he coaches. And in fact, I just want to, one last comment about Rich. Rich Rod was a 3-3-5 guy forever at West Virginia. And one of the things he did when he got the job at Michigan, he realized Michigan was a 4-3 team. And he let Scott Schaefer run the 4-3, which was not something Rich Rod believed in. I don't know if you remember how that played out. But
it played out. It was terrible because Schaefer was here for 1 year. And
he ran the 4-3 for 1 year, and then he switched back to his old stuff. So he wasted a whole anyway.
Yeah, but he brought in Greg Robinson, who doesn't know the 3-3-5.
I know. It was a total mess. But anyway, I just want, it's something that because we really I thought played pretty good defense, and just something for people to think about. I want to talk about Biff. His name has gone out there. I met Biff. Biff is he's a good man, and he was a highly successful high school coach, and in St. Francis there. I'm not going to say it. I'm going to talk about what Saban said. Saban talked about how he built that program at St. Francis with a lot of money. You remember hearing him say that on the
they were talking. Yeah.
Listen, it's the absolute truth. Guys came in from all over. He built a great program there, but these were players from all over, who knows where, that according to Saban, he paid them to come there and get there, and he built a program, and he was successful there. And then he went to Charlotte, and he was not successful at all. So I just, in my opinion, that doesn't, he had 2 years to try to do something at Charlotte, and it didn't show me anything that, that is exactly not what we want. We want guys that are proven at a small school level, a smaller division level, that they can do something there, and to get the Michigan job. So I'm just keeping it real there. High school coach, successful with a certain unique situation, and then an opportunity at Charlotte. It only lasted 2 years. So in my opinion, that is an absolute no. What are your thoughts there?
Hey, listen, I appreciate everything that Biff is doing for the university, especially in a time like right now. But this is a high school coach. spent 30, decades at high school, came here in 2016 as an analyst, and then he went back to high school for 4 years. Then he got I think he came here for 2 more years, 21 and 22, got the Charlotte job. It was terrible. It was 6-16.
Yeah.
And then he came back here this year. I appreciate everything that Biff does, and he is putting Michigan above all else to help them in a time where they need a face and a guiding voice, and he's going to be it. But he is not the answer, and I don't listen. If Sharon Moore wasn't qualified to take the head coaching job at Michigan, then Biff isn't either. Again, I just that's no. I'm not trying to criticize Biff on anything other than we're trying to hit a home run and swinging for the fences, and it should happen, whether it's DeBoer or it's Fish or Dillingham or whatever. Heck, but we can't settle. We can't settle for a guy who's basically a career high school coach.
Yeah. Hey, easy on them high school coaches. You know, Lloyd Carr was a high school coach.
Yeah, a lot of these guys were.
Yeah.
That guy you like, Lance Leipold, was for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
Dillingham started out at high school. So, yeah, I get it.
No. And trust me, he's a good man, but I want a guy that's going to out-scheme Signetti. I want a guy that's going to out-lead and like I said, we talked about, out-recruit Ryan Day. And he had a shot at Charlotte. It didn't happen. And let's move on. Yeah. I want to talk about things that I can't confirm any of this stuff, but who's really going to decide on the next coach? And I'm just hearing that the donors are really, really involved with, we can't get a real handle on who the hell is making the decision. And, but some of the things I'm hearing is that donors really are involved with who the next coach is. I faced, again, I was a high school coach, but you faced the same kind of stuff. I had people that fundraised. They wanted to tell me how to spend money on this, that, or whatever. I just remember every year it was fine. But one year I had one guy, he wants to dictate how we're going to spend money, and that can be a problem. So, but I'm hearing donors are involved. They want to be involved. I can't confirm it, but that's out there, and want to throw that at you, do.
If you're a guy that has millions of dollars to throw at college football, okay, you're making investments other places, right? You're not just some guy that won the lottery and has $900 million. You got to a spot in life through work, through investing, through negotiating, through all of this stuff, but and you're active in it. And so if you're going to give Michigan $3 million, $5 million, $10 million, you're going to have a say in it. That's just the way things work in the world. And it is interesting to, Ward's got to be out there leading this thing, right? He is the athletic director. And I don't think you're going to get rid of the athletic director right now because you're looking for a coach. If you fired Ward right now your coaching search is delayed because you're going to have to find an athletic director first. I think that's just the way it is. So Ward is leading this thing, and, it's a whole nother discussion. Okay. Yeah. He nailed it with Dusty May, so it's not like it's impossible. Yeah. And so we saw tonight. Now, I don't know if you saw that DeBoer put out a statement, said that he is happy in Tuscaloosa. He's grateful for the support from the school. Not looking, he says, I have not spoken to anybody and don't plan on speaking to anybody. Take that for what it is. I think that that's just a coach who is trying to keep that quiet. He's got a press conference tomorrow because the game is next week. So he's playing Oklahoma. He's got a press conference. He does not want to spend all of that press conference talking about Michigan and the interest and the rumors. So is that does that close the door on the DeBoer? I don't believe so. But hey, maybe he doesn't have any interest in Michigan, and that is the end. I don't know. But I think it's obvious that his people, he didn't talk to Michigan, but it's pretty obvious his people did, at least
Yeah,
from what we've read.
yeah,
So, and I believe that that's Ward leading that. Now, do I think Ward flew down to Tuscaloosa to meet with DeBoer's agent? I don't know, man. To me, that seems like not a smart move. Ward's a very recognizable guy, and
yeah,
if anybody in Tuscaloosa saw Ward Manuel getting off the plane or going to a hotel, that stuff would be on the internet and
yeah,
it would be blowing up. So I don't know.
yeah. Anyway, yeah, I really respect the, again, as a former high school guy who dealt with fundraising parents every year, it's like you love the ones that just show up and say, Coach, here's the check, spend it how you wish. Go Dragons. We were the Dragons. That's what I want from Portnoy, and that's what we want from Joe Lynn. Coach, here's your money. Go get some great players. Go Blue. I'll
Well,
see you. I'll see you at the Natty. I'll see you at the. Anyway, send him a shirt or something. Give him a couple tickets. Those are the best kind of alum. So anyway, that's going
yeah.
on. A couple names. Again, me and we talk to people, but I'm hearing that anyone. There's names that you could not even. I heard Cliff Kingsbury's name. I did some homework. Cliff would be outstanding, highly successful college coach. Went to the pros and built the physicality into his offense that he was now running with the Commanders of bringing the pro physicality, tight ends. He would be someone that would be great, a great guy to consider. Anyway, that's a name that I heard from some of my sources.
All I can think about it, Cliff
what else are you
Kingsbury.
hearing?
Yeah, well, all I can think of when I think of Cliff Kingsbury is that he had Baker Mayfield there walking on. He won the starting job 5 games into the season, and Kingsbury's just like, no scholarship. You're going to have to earn it. You're still going to have to compete in the spring. That's mismanagement
Yeah,
because
that's right.
Baker Mayfield's really good, you dummy. And so he leaves there, walks on at Oklahoma. Interesting story. I don't know if you saw that this past weekend. He was talking. He was not even on the team, couldn't talk to anybody. He had the role of Oklahoma just as a regular student. He had to go through everything that without any help from the athletic department. And finally gets accepted and stuff and gets on, and the rest is history. But yeah, I don't know about Cliff. Didn't do very well out in Arizona, obviously, and Washington's not doing that great. But whatever. I don't know if that's the way to define his career. Um, we talked about Lance Leipold. I don't think that's. I mean, you know, you had mentioned it yesterday, so I went and looked him up, and really doesn't have a great record other than for a couple of years at Kansas. Uh,
But
but
dude,
he is.
I get what he's done now, but you have to look at Buffalo when he got the job. They were like,
Yeah, no,
garbage. And then you have to look at Kansas when he got the job. There was like zero hope. It was like a 1-10 team. You those incremental movements when the guy takes over that is just flat out rock bottom terrible. And so I get it. He was maybe below 500 this year, but I think he's. I'm still high on the guy. And you're right. He was one of the hottest coaches in the country a couple of years ago.
In Kansas, couple years he was 9-4. Got Kansas to 9-4. Kansas.
Yeah. And that's not easy to do at a place like that. Just like so. Again, good coaches have average years at times too. So he's still.
No, yeah, I get it, but everybody's talking about this has got to be, this is Michigan, and they got to swing for the fences. We should not have to settle for anybody, and they're in a little bit of a spot because DeBoer's not going to do anything until this game is over next week. So Michigan has to sit on their hands for a bit and wait. And then what if they wait and he decides, no, I'm going to stick to Alabama. And in the meantime, Dillingham, who is tired of waiting around as plan B, he signs with Arizona State. Now you got to go talk to Jed Fish. Is Jed Fish really going to be interested as the third guy. I don't know. Some of these guys, Jed doesn't seem like a guy who would be overly egomaniac. And if he was the third option, he might say, I don't care. I still want to coach Michigan, so let's get it done.
Yeah.
But it's a tough spot to be in. You're not getting DeBoer before this game's over. And if he wins, it's going to delay everything.
Yeah, and I see Jed just signed a great class down there. I got to believe Washington is satisfied with them. Anyway, what kind of, you got any questions there, dude? Then we're going to look at a little bit.
Yeah, there is. Actually,
then we'll look at a little bit of Texas film and wrap it up.
Holy cow, 60 class. I'm never going to get through these.
We'll go and throw some stuff that we could get on.
Somebody said the Utah coach just resigned or retired in quotation marks. I thought that was odd too. I thought that seemed
coach.
like a strange time. Yeah, I think he's a great coach too.
Came to Ann Arbor and kicked our ass.
He's beaten us a few times.
He's a damn good coach.
Fact. Somebody's not interested in DeBoer. The collective put out the statement that is not DeBoer's people or the school. So that's an interesting take on DeBoer's statement that he's happy and not looking to go anywhere. So fans don't want this to be a quick hire. That's how Moore got here.
I totally agree with it, man. I totally agree. And I think, I think people, they're so concerned with guys getting in the portal or this, that, or it's like, man, get the right guy. Get the right guy. Because, again, the right guy will talk with these kids and get them out of the portal and get them believing in Michigan again. So I'm not worried about that. You get the right guy. I don't care how long we got to wait. You don't rush nothing. Any other questions in there?
Just comment on the same type of stuff we were just talking about there.
Anybody, do the homework on. I looked at Sam Levit, dude, and this kid is athletic. He is athletic. He is accurate. So those are decisions that I would be making as a coach. But we will look at a little Texas film if we're done with the questions there, and just take a little peek. Texas has got athletes. They're good on defense.
Yeah, man. I spent a little time today watching them. There's a great on YouTube. You can watch the sky view of the Texas and Vanderbilt game. That's a great way to watch the game. You can really watch the offensive line scheme. They're tough, man. That is a tough defense. I do not know how we're going to block those guys.
Yeah. Anyway, Sark does a lot of stuff. Here's some shifting, some pump fake shifting. And, you got to be – he forces you to be smart, man. I mean, they got damn good players, and they really force you. He's got a lot of BS in there, man. You got to get lined up right. So we got to do our homework and a lot of bubble screens. But Arch will make mistakes, man. I've watched him. He's gotten better. He sure as hell don't look like he did against the Buckeyes early in the year, but he will make some mistakes.
I still think his mechanics are terrible.
Yeah. The way he throws the ball is a little.
Yeah, I don't like his footwork. I don't like his shoulders. I don't like,
But he does run well. He runs better than his uncle.
Oh yeah.
So let's take a look here. This is that thing you got to scout. You're an edge player. He gets outside the defense here. So we have to be aware of that. He does have some feet. So here he is getting outside. But, he'll make a mistake. That ball could have been picked, throw it against the grain. We're going to have to keep this game low scoring because it's going to be tough to move the ball on them, in my opinion. So here's some shifting. A lot of bubble. They run a ton of bubble against Vandy. Vandy didn't have the kind of athletes Texas had, and Vandy was right there with them. We're only going to look at about 6, 7 plays. But
yeah, Vandy, I was watching Vandy, like this stuff right here from this Skycam view. Well, this is Texas on offense. I was going to talk about Vandy when they were on offense against Texas D. I'll hold off. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I don't even have any of that film, but here's a shift here. Again, ton of bubble and good athletes. Number one's a hell of an athlete. And I got to believe the majority of their team will probably play in this game. This running back is good. The hell number is he? He makes this guy miss. So they got some damn good running backs. Here's some more motion. Plays hardly blocked athletes.
They are going to be tough. They're going to be well coached. And if you recall last year, now this is the beginning of the season, Biff was trying to do some cute crap and it didn't work. And he got out of that crap later on in the season. But, I think that Sark has the advantage in scheme over Wink. Wink's got a lot to prove in this game,
Yeah.
to be honest.
Yeah, they had our number last year. So, in fact, that's a great point, dude. Both those guys are going to be looking at that film.
Yep.
Even though there's different players, but there's a fundamental there's some fundamental stuff that they're going to be researching. Again, this is some trick stuff. You got to see, man. This is this is the center here, and he's got a running back behind the center. I don't think Vandy sees it, but this is unique trick stuff, deceptive stuff. Creative offensive coach. Sark here, he's got this quarterback motioning, doing a bunch of stuff, but it's all BS, and it's a wildcat situation there, direct snap to a runner. So again, I like seeing people that do things outside of the norm. Their offensive line will protect big athletic dudes. I think they got one of them guys in the first round draft pick. I don't know if maybe he might not play, but Arch is definitely improved.
And Arch is very. I was surprised how mobile he was.
Who, Arch?
This year? Yeah.
Yeah. You want to look at a little more film, dude? I don't really have much more marked, but
I can tell you, just you can watch this as I chat a little bit. Watching the beginning of that Vanderbilt game. Vanderbilt tried to run inside zone. They tried to use some power, and Texas D line just ate it up. As a matter of fact, they ran a duo one time, and the guard and tackle comboed. Guard never got off of it, and the linebacker just came blasting through. The safety comes blasting through. The nose guard runs around the center. They are a tough front, man. And this is a task for everybody involved. I mean, obviously, Bryce hasn't had his best game against the stronger teams, and this is going to be maybe the strongest defense he plays all year.
Yeah, this is a damn good defense. Anyway, look, and these guys they pass protect real well. They pick up stunts. I was impressed with the intelligence and they're coached up over there. One more play and we're done.
Okay.
Let's just take a look at one more play. Here's one back. Not a lot of double tight. Not under center. Ton of bubble, so we got to be great against bubble with this team. We've done they got athletes out there, and so
tall task for the Wolverines on both sides of the ball, and it comes at a time where this is why it's nice to have Biff there right now. He is forget all that noise out there. You got a game in front of you. We have practice today. You have school. We're going to be doing what we got to do. So that's the positive part about having Biff. But man, these coaches, let's be honest, these coaches probably aren't going to be here in a month.
Oh, I know. You could ask. You talk about leadership. You talk about back to the wall.
Yeah.
I mean, put yourself in that locker room. You got a bunch of pissed off assistant coaches that are disappointed that their leader let them down. Now they got to go look for a job. Okay. All them coaches are pissed off about what happened because they got to go look for a job.
Yeah.
And you got players that they don't know what the hell some of them are, the old guys are pissed off because they want to play in their last game and
senior
maybe
year.
leave as winners. And they're really upset with that. So they're going to look at each other to try to rally and play like hell for each other. And you got young guys that are they're getting their phones getting blown up. You said there were 300 calls on
one of the players 300.
One of the players had 300 messages. So some of these guys might be using this game as an audition to leverage more money as a player.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things. There's a lot of things going on. But how the hell Well, who is the yeah? Well, and Chip will be running things, and
Biff
then
and Wink
and then
and
Wink will be running.
but
So you've got the guys running the two sides of the ball, and the special team coach is gone. I mean, you couldn't ask for more chaotic locker room situation for Biff Poggi to try to hold it together.
I know.
And because again, I had the same damn coach all 5 years, and I'm just trying to visualize being in that locker room.
That sucks, man. What boy, it's just when you put it like that and you think about how many lives are now flipped upside down.
Oh yeah, dude. Because we've been there. We were in that locker room, and you know how important that is for the seniors to play
Yeah,
and to win their last bowl game, and the preparation, the work that went in, how the difficult bowl practices, and
it sucks,
final
man. I feel
exam, studying. Everybody else
all
is
that.
studying. You're going to practice, and then everybody's gone, and you're still up there practicing for the bowl game. The campus is empty, and you're grinding. And yeah,
You're
so
trying to,
you're trying
but you
to.
also know that these coaches have got to find another job
Yeah,
and they've
yeah. It's
got
like you're
limited
looking at.
time to do that.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's like these
sucks.
coaches are going to be. They got one finger on the projector looking at Texas, and they got another finger on their phone.
Yeah, that's
Looking
a
for jobs.
fact. Yep.
So that's a whole different deal than what it should be. They should be looking at Texas and figuring out how the hell we're going to beat Texas. And so there's a lot of stuff going on, and we're praying for those players. We're Michigan. We want those guys, and hopefully we'll have a great plan. And anyway, that's for Scar and Do.
Hey, real quick,
here.
in the comment, I was just reading the comments. Apparently, I said we were talking about last year's Texas game, and I said Biff got eaten. No, I meant Wink, obviously.
Yeah.
Wink.
I got you.
So just
Yeah, Wink. They're going to look at that film. And, they had a different quarterback, but there's a lot of those plays that's what you do as a coach. You say, what the hell did he do in these formations, and what did he do against this, and that's what you do. You size up stuff, and Wink will have to adjust. But we got to have a plan, and we are in chaos. But this is what you develop players, you teach players mental toughness, and guys like our seniors, our captains. They're real. This is where you got to really pull it together and get great efforts and see how it plays out. But over and out for Scar and Do. We'll be here every other Sunday, 8 p.m. It's all good. That's my final words. Go Blue.
go Blue, boys.